What's up, everyone? Welcome to Finance with Tony. I'm Tony, and here we are sharing some ideas about a frugal lifestyle. On the background, you can see uh, the the playground in the typical kindergarten in Siberia. I mean, public kindergarten in Siberia. It is completely free for preschool education for uh, local uh, citizens. I mean, people who live in Siberia. Um, Hot hello all the way from the capital of Siberia, from Novosibirsk City, by the way. And I guess it's of course it's possible for non-citizens to use this infrastructure as well, but I'm not fully sure about whereas it's free or that would be some money charged for this. On the opposite side of the street, on the background, you can see a swimming pool on the territory of regular public school. This video would be sort of follow-up on the childhood education here in Siberia, because I realized on the hit side or on the height side, I realized that I didn't mention some important facts about childhood education system in Siberia, and I guess it's one of the advantage living here. And on the background you can see the building of a typical kindergarten, and also if one of the important facts that I didn't mention in my previous video was that in the the service by public kindergartens in Siberia includes full day supply of food. I mean, they have a kitchen inside. Here's the lighting, by the way, how it works. You can press the button and you can go straight from the kindergarten to the public school. Yep. Back to my point about food supply. It's a similar situation in public school and in the kindergarten. We don't have those bizarre lunchbox system like in Europe or in the United States. I mean, when children have to use lunch boxes, and probably it could be linked to the time frame. I mean, to the schedule of kindergartens, for instance, because kindergartens here in Siberia usually work, I guess, up to 6 or 8 p.m. at least. And I know that back to the Soviet Union, it was 24/7. And I guess you can somewhere find the similar um, schedule this time around too. And also on the background, um, I did show this before, but I just realized that here's an entrance to the public school, and usually I mean, it's not as a matter of fact, childhood education or school education, including high school, is 11 grades. Usually it is sort of tradition that children are prepared to go to the school having basic skills like at least ABC alphabet. I mean, some children can read, as myself. Or I mean, when I was a kid growing up, when I started my education in the public school. On the background, you can see the sport. How to say? The place for indoor workouts and sport competitions like volleyball, basketball, football, I mean soccer, and so on. And also, here's the entrance to the kitchen part. I mean, to the kitchen that provides food for children who are going to the school. For children with special needs, the government provides extra, I mean, additional financial support, and they have usually more food supply compared to other children. And back to the system, usually it depends. When it comes to the kindergarten, it's sort of mixed bag. It depends on the will of. It depends on the preferences of parents. Some parents use kindergarten, some don't. But when it comes to the school, it's a requirement. I mean, children obliged go to the school. And when it comes to the kindergarten, on the background, by the way, you can see the part of the school for extracurricular activities. The part of the public school for extracurricular activities like dancing, singing, and probably many other things. Usually it could be maybe sewing, it could be maybe some is a park here. We are in the territory of public school, regular public school again, and I showed in previous video I showed the other part with the stadium here also in public school. So back to the system. Usually in the kindergarten also they have extracurricular activities, and sometimes it could be languages, it could be music and other things, and also when it comes to school, I did mention in previous video that if you have a band in sports, in arts, in music, you have to go a part of the regular school. You have to go to the you have to go to the art school or music school and so on, and also when it comes to Olympic types of sports, definitely the government actively participate in this, and I guess it's usually huge advantage if you live in metropolitan areas such as Novosibirsk City, because you can from this at this point your child can start a career like a future like an inspired Olympic champion. Otherwise I mean a champion in Olympic types of sports. Otherwise you don't have the, if you live in a rural area, you can probably commute. I know that if people live in the countryside, like maybe 30-50 kilometers from Novosibirsk City, they sometimes they are able to commute to get their children opportunity to opportunity when it comes to sports and extracurricular activities and so on, or music. By the way, when it comes to the exterior, I wouldn't say that we'll see many changes. We have many changes comparing to the communist era, because usually this infrastructure sorry guys, нет, я думал, что это публичное место, думал. Ну ладно. Угу. Хорошо, хорошо. So, guys, I don't have permission to make this to film to film the school, and I guess it makes sense. I mean, for legal purposes, for sure. It's because today is Tuesday, and in half and in 30 minutes probably children will come to the school and so on. We'll start. It's an early morning, by the way. So back to but I can continue, but I can elaborate about the few points about the system of themselves on itself. Well, I would say when it comes to sports, it is also kind of advantage if you study here in Siberia, because usually it's quite intensive programs, and also I mean it wouldn't be a situation when a teacher give you a ball and just don't care and leave or something like that. I mean, usually teachers or usually a teacher is a sort of honorary job. I am not fully sure. Maybe I lack of language. Sorry about that. I started studying English in '33, and it's my third language. So it is what it is. When it comes to sports, when I studied in public school like this, like you've seen just a few minutes before, we have special. We had extra point in terms of volleyball, basketball, and soccer, I guess, and of course it goes without saying that in terms when it comes to the gender part of education, there is no separate programs. I mean, pretty much all programs is not very similar. I mean, usually not usually. It goes without saying again that boys and girls studying together, and even when it comes to sports, and maybe even soccer, of course volleyball, basketball, and so on, I wouldn't say that we have any subjects when children are separated, and also I guess I found solution. I can make the video from outside of the fence. I mean of the school's territory. And also again, it's right in the opposite side of kindergarten. On the background you can see the kindergarten territory. Well, what was my last thoughts? I guess overall taking into account that Russia has highest university degree rate in the world, or one of the highest. I mean, 60% of working population has educated of working population has a university degree, like 5 or 6 years. I guess overall education system and childhood education in Russia is one of the advantages living here in Siberia. Again, here's a kindergarten. Again, it's continuous, how would say, kindergarten. I probably mentioned it before. Kindergarten usually starts right after maternity leave. I mean, usually government provides maternity leave. I mean, full finance for financial coverage, full financial coverage for maternity leave, depending on your salary, and both anyone from the parents can get maternity leave. I mean, yeah, and also overall maternity leave could be up to 3 years, and usually after this after that parents after that usually parents take their children to the kindergarten, to kindergarten. Also, when it comes to infrastructure and, for instance, sport education, we have some places like this. I mean, some outdoor, some places, municipal authorities arranged some places with free access for soccer or for basketball, volleyball. So I guess yeah, looks like this, and I guess it's sort of network. I mean, the education, the childhood education infrastructure. It's sort of concept, you know. I guess that's why people plan all things, starting from kindergarten, extracurriculum activities, and also all the way up to the university degree, and that's why we have roughly 60% of working population with university diplomas and I mean with university degree, and I guess comparing to Novosibirsk, I mean Siberia and Moscow, for instance, I wouldn't say that I remember somebody who moved to Moscow to raise children, even though it's a great place to be with probably better architecture and more expensive infrastructure. I would say the similar conditions when it comes to childhood education, but taking into account that Moscow is the fifth most populated capital in the world, and the density of population is completely different. Here in Novosibirsk City, Novosibirsk has a population of 1.6 million. You definitely have more advantages, I mean, using this infrastructure, even though the infrastructure could be pretty similar. So I know some families who moved from Moscow to Novosibirsk City, to Siberia, even though we have so harsh Siberian winters. I guess, but it's not so windy like in Moscow. Again, it's double-edged sword. And on the flip side, you can I mean, sometimes people decided to compromise their career because obviously the salaries in Novosibirsk City at least were lower for maybe 50%. Sometimes it could be 30%, but sometimes it could be 50% lower than in Moscow. So it's on the flip side, people like advantages like ecotourism, and you can definitely commute less and so on. And I guess also access to the public healthcare system. I mean, hospitals, and even though the conditions in terms of finance could be again, it's also different. Actually, you will spend probably 2, 3, maybe 5 times more in Moscow than in Novosibirsk City. It will again, it depends on your preferences. I mean, extracurricular activities, and when it comes to healthcare system, I would say you can get more bang for your buck here, because public hospitals usually have the similar infrastructure as private hospitals in Moscow, and obviously you'll see you'll see better conditions in terms of how long you will waiting for an appointment to get healthcare services for free, because again, it's country of former socialism, and we have free public education system and free healthcare system. So that would be my take on childhood education, high school education. I wouldn't no, I didn't mention about high school education, but one of the options when you turn ninth level, one of the option is staying there in public school. Another option, you can go to the professional school, like we call this colleges, and I guess definitely a major part of population prefer staying in the school all the way up to the 11th grade. Then they go to taking my case, for example, when I studied at 11 on 11th grade, maybe let's say last year in the school, and another playground, or in another place or space for soccer, and it's also free access. It seems a bit neglected, but much worse than previous one. But it's all the density is low between these places. So when I studied my last in my last year in school, I simultaneously I used to go to my university as extra curriculum activities, you know, like I was preparing myself to apply to the university, and it is not something unusual. Here's also one of the part of infrastructure. Is just playground near the public housing. We have sorry, not public house, near the houses. Near the housing, usually we have different playgrounds, different quality playgrounds, but this one seems like very typical. If it is up to me, from my point of view. Well, I guess also I remember that this part of playgrounds is also classical for children in Siberia. I mean, this space with sand, yeah, it's a typical thing, really very typical thing. You can build something or play, yeah. And also, so I guess that would be a nice additional point to the education, childhood education here in Siberia, because it's whole infrastructure, you know, makes more sense for people living there, living here in Siberia. So I will do another video about university education. I already did some videos about Novosibirsk Technical University, and also I'll try to do more. So this video again tend to be too long, and thanks guys for coming along. Thank you very much for coming along. Thanks for using Finance with Tony, and have an awesome day.